So first league of the day here, playing some Jund Shadow. Wanted to do a little bit of a quote-unquote try-hard stream. Not really testing out anything new or unusual. Just good Jund Shadow cards that have worked well for us. So we're going to kind of run through a league with this. We've got some things like the 6 hand disruption spells. I know people like Canister have been off of it, and Grixis cutting down to like just the Thoughtseize. But Jund, when you don't have that ability to say no on the top end, it becomes a lot more important to be able to disrupt early and get pressure on the board. We've got the 4 Ragavan, 4 Shadow, 4 Dauthi in the main, good against the Cascade decks. 2 Kroxa, 4 Goyf, 2 Pyromancers, our threat package. 4 Unholy Heat, Bolt, a push, 2 Terminate for removal, and a Teamer Battle Rage in here, because, you know, Teamer Battle Rage. In the sideboard, we got things like Liliana of the Veil, 3 copies of Turok for the 4 color piles. We've got Unlicensed Hearse, Soul Guide for Grave Hate, K-Command, Chalice of the Void, EEs. Another copy of Terminate for things like Murktide, and like Alpine Moon, Ancient Grudge to wrap up Urza Saga and token decks like that. So let's go ahead and jump in. These all preliminaries. Is Mardu Shadow bad now? I wanted to make it at one point. Mardu Shadow was good when Faithless Looting and Ranger Captain of Eos were both legal. But without Faithless Looting, Mardu Shadow's pretty bad, because it's kind of the same thing as Riveteer's Charm. You're playing this fair Ranger Captain of Eos on turn 3 and hoping that it's good, but like half the time it's not even going to be good enough to stop Cascade decks. So there's not really a point in playing it. Yeah. Like, without Faithless Looting, being able to like ditch early Ranger Captains, unearth them to get a Shadow and play that game, that deck lost a lot of potential. Alright, one day we'll get an opponent. Maybe. There we go. Alright. Correct plays only. No risky mulligan decisions. No analyzing plays. Well, we are analyzing plays, not no analyzing plays. All right. Hand is solid. We're on the draw. We've got all these baubles to filter. We've got a turn 2 Dauthi. Black Cleave Cliffs go. So I'm assuming this is some sort of a hand disruption deck. We're not running like Ledger Shredders or Dragon's Rage Channeler, so there's not a big benefit to waiting on these baubles. But I'm not going to crack them on my turn in case my opponent has hand disruption spells. So they're drawing into Fatal Push. They've got a copy of Dauthi Voidwalker of their own. Don't really care about drawing the second terminate. Alright, so I know they have Fatal Push. So I could be mana efficient and just play a threat down here. Like if I go, let's say, Peatland Goyf, they Fatal Push my Goyf, attack with Dauthi. And that means I get to untap. I'll be 16, 13, 11, 10, play Shadow, Shadow, heat the Dauthi. I think that's reasonable for me. So we know they've got a Fatal Push and a Seasoned Pyromancer. And obviously, if they like Seasoned Pyromancer instead of playing Fatal Push, we're happy just untapping, still going like Shadow, Shadow, heat the Dauthi. We could also just go Dauthi, heat their Dauthi. If we want to like get shadows down next turn out of bolt range. Or we can play Dauthi, and if they play Seasoned Pyromancer, we can heat the Pyromancer and be able to cast it with our Dauthi. But we wait and see if they have interaction, so we can respond with our interaction. Their Dauthi gets exiled, ours goes to the graveyard. Makes it better with Kroxa. Hearse is fine. Stomping Ground's a good draw. So we're really hoping we can find something to terminate here so we can untap and maybe like just get a free roll Spyro. Do I want to draw off this Peatland? I think so. So if I attack here, Spyro Ditch, heat Bloodstain Mire. I think that's a decent spot for me. Yep. Okay. Gotta be pretty close to, like, having to play this Spyro, right? But they play a Spyro, that means I get, like, first crack at their new hand with this Inquisition. Yep. Re-roll the Croxa. Yuck. Well, we're taking that, because if we draw a fetch land, we just kill them. That also just kills them. So let's double check before we do anything. With Thoughtseize, you go down to 2. Shadow becomes an 11/11. 12. All they've got is this elemental token, which we've got a free Unholy Heat on. Hiya. Yep. Alright. So, just Rakdos Midrange. Let's see, bringing any of these in. I know I don't want Battle Rage. Playing bolts, playing 1 bolt. Max out on heats. We really want the little extra ability to kill like a Murktide. But only 1 bolt. You know, some amount of hand disruption. On the draw, take out a couple Ragavans. So if I want to board out like that, maybe I don't bring in the 3rd Turok. Maybe I don't bring in the Soul Guide Lantern. So like that. Yeah, we had a decent number of draws for the out, and even if we missed, we weren't in like a bad position. Because we still just had like double kill spell. They could only escape Croxa once. We've got a free discard pretty easily to that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this. It's gonna be a little rough if they go like turn 1 Ragavan, but yeah, that's fine. Got Bobble. Got the backup Wren if they want to take one of those. Take the Hearse. So I would assume that means they've got Croxa in hand. Yep. So we'll just ditch this extra Wren. Tarmogoyf. Yeah, I'll take a Tarmogoyf. Gives me a threat. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and get Wren down. This is one of the things I really like about Wren in these Jund lists is it gives you a number of games. And like, I would even consider going up to 3 or 4 Ren. Because it gives you a number of games where, like, you get to keep hitting your land drops without having to keep drawing the lands. So you just get a higher % chance of hitting more spells while still hitting those land drops. That's like a pretty big deal. Spyro. Yep. Ditch Colligan's command, terminate. Those are some pretty big ones to be ditching. So I can't double spell off anything here. So my odds are... I think I just sit on terminate this turn. Like, I don't want to play the Tarmogoyf, have them kill it, and like attack Ren for 4. But instead I can terminate the Spyro, and they can only attack for 2. Which means I can down tick Ren on a token next turn. And double spell. Don't most lists run 3 to 4? In like Jund Midrange, yeah, but not in Jund Shadow. A lot of people in Jund Shadow really hate this card, and I don't really know why. Yeah, we're going to try to keep Ren's loyalty up a little bit. Costs a lot of money IRL, sure. I don't think that's enough of a reason, like, not to play it when people are running around IRL with 4-color piles and Ragavan decks. They're going to exile the... If they exile the Spyro to escape the Kroxa, like, I'm pretty thrilled about that. So I just get, like, free discard my Kroxa, untap, ping a token, play Goyf, hold up, terminate. And they lose their Spyro tokens. Like, yeah, I'm thrilled about this. Could also... I could discard a land. Like, discard the Catacombs that they know about and just get the 2 sides on the Kroxa. Get a card out of hand. I think I'm going to do that. Alright, so we're going to ping a token. Play a bauble. Play Kroxa. Just bauble myself because I need to terminate before their turn, so. Play our Kroxa. And pass the turn. Doesn't matter if we terminate now. It's probably just like good practice, right? I don't think there's really anything we're drawing into that I'd rather play. Even if I found like an Unholy Heat, I think I'd rather be mana efficient later and keep it. Boo. Boo. Last card, another Spyro. Liliana the Veil. Okay. So, pretty important top deck here. That's a pretty solid one. So we can go Ren tick up, get a land. Play our land. Then are we going... We could blow up the hearse, kill the elemental. We can... We probably need to, like, play the Goyf, pass the turn, let them Lily Edict the Goyf. If they go to unlicense hearse, we respond with blow up the hearse, get back the Goyf. What gives us the best chance here? I need to get rid of that hearse because the Ren emblem's not doing anything if the hearse is on board. So, what is my plan? I'm trying to decide if I need to, like, go ahead and K-command. Well, make them discard doesn't get rid of, like, anything on board. I need to get rid of stuff on board. So maybe, like, ticks up Lily. Is he waiting to respond to this with hearse? You're pretty greedy. Alright. I guess that's what he's doing. I'll respond with destroy the hearse, shoot the Lily. Or am I responding with shoot the Lily, get back the Goyf? Kill these. Alright, so we've got Spyros to draw 2. We've got Bloodstained Myers to draw 2. They've got a fetch here, which means any other spell for them gets Croxa back. And that probably kills us. Like, I think even if you draw a Fatal Push, well, maybe not. Maybe that's too high risk, high reward. If you draw like a Fatal Push, you could Fatal Push your own token to try to get Kroxa back. This is not where we need to be flooding out. And, like, this is the problem that I've had with Shadow recently, is getting to this mid-range point where I just need to, like, draw a couple spells, and we'll be okay. And I've been hitting pockets of lands, like, right here. K command. Is in fact. I would go for the double Kroxa activation. That was a weird spot. What do I think about that? Like, drew the K command on his turn, didn't play it. I feel like that should have been a pretty easy, just like main phase the K command. Let's go down to 1 Ragavan, 1 Thoughtseize. DRC for some filtering. I don't think DRC is a good threat. Like, that's not what this version of Shadow is trying to accomplish. This isn't a grindy, mid-range, go long Shadow deck. This is like a aggressive, get on the board, kill you Shadow deck. Dauthi's a good pickup. Trying to get around, or trying to think of things to get around flooding. Well, you can't really, like, help that a lot of the times. So, I mean, usually our flood insurance is things like Seasoned Pyromancer and stuff like that. But if we don't see the Seasoned Pyromancers, then not a whole lot we can do there. I don't really want to double threat in case they just have, like, 2 removal spells hit me with Ragavan. Wasn't Reduke playing Night's Whisper? Possibly. It's a pretty Reduke-ish card. Spyro would be great here. Not heating right away because I want him to tick up this Lily so I can get like a free discard on him. Feels like the list needs +1 Spyro. So we played 3 Spyros last time, and we kept having like a 2 Spyros in hand, which is why I cut it down to 3, or cut it down to 2. But I wouldn't be like opposed going back up. I was gonna say, if they had like discard Croak's fetch land, that would have been pretty sick. Okay. Last card, terminate. Oh. Well then. Alright, so we attack with Shadow, Edict the Dauthi. They're at 11, they croaks us back. We're at 3, we're not presenting lethal. So I don't really have a lot of plays. I guess if I find like a fetch, I can present lethal. I'm not dead to Den, so that's a plus. I guess even if I draw a fetch, yeah, I can't. I'm dead to Croaks, or dead to Den of the Bugbears on the backswing. Yep. Ugh. Rakdos Midrange. I would love to see more of like the decks we're trying to gear towards. Riveteer's Charm or Fable. Fable's way too slow. Like, Fable's great in your, again, grindy, go long, mid-range value deck. It is terrible in your aggressive 1 and 2 drop creature, get on the board and get them dead plan. Like, I feel like we're getting into that mindset of trying to take burn and say, hey, you need to add more, light up the stages because you need to grind more and see more cards, when that's clearly not something that burn wants access to. Kind of the same thing here. Like, you don't want to go grindy mid-range because if that's the case, you should not be playing Death Shadow. I think I'm just going to take Consider. So their next turn is like Shredder plus Bobble. We get to kill that. And then Channeler. Or we could take Shredder. Probably better just take a threat, right? I'm overthinking it. Kept the tar card on top with Consider, or with Bobble. What are the odds I can get the Ren down tick and kill this Dauthi? Is that worth it? Like, am I better off just playing Ragavan and waiting to try to heat? Probably. If they go for Consider, get to respond to this trigger, kill the Dauthi. So Consider's gone. That's a Bobble to the yard. So I know Steam Vents, and that's it. Ragavan of their own. So let's swing first. See if they're offering up the trade. Nope. We can get down Ren, hopefully. Kill you, say go. Bolt my Ren. Alright. I hate Charm. Which Charm are we referring to? Like, I hate Archmage's Charm. I could just Spyro and ditch Ragavan and Battle Rage. Is that good? I think I'm going to. I think I'd rather just see more like live cards. I think both of these are too easy to disrupt. Yeah. It was like, I can dash in with Ragavan this turn and hold up Terminate. But then what am I doing? Am I Seasoned Pyromancer next turn to get the tokens, or am I gonna sit here and try to dash Ragavan like every turn from now until the end of time? Because I think both of those ideas just kind of end with like Ragavan doesn't matter. Yep. I really hope they go like fetch second Murktide here. Expressive Iteration is indeed a good card. I'll swing with what? Two tokens is like the safe attack, because if they kill my Spyro, I can get back tokens. Sleeping Pill, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having an awesome Wednesday so far. It is Wednesday, isn't it? Feels like a Wednesday. Yeah. I say I will absolutely take that trade. So am I going... I could just go Terminate, Ren, Ping, attack for 4, put them to 3. And then I've got lethal with Ping plus any 2 attackers getting through. Kind of like that. Alright, that's another expressive iteration. Is that 3? Yep. But it does get rid of a lot of their mana available. This. It's like a brazen borrower. Don't think that does anything. Alright. So Liliana's great. Hearse, Soul Guide, Terminate, and K Command. Some number of EEs. Just want to be able to deal with opposing hearses. Battle Rage is bad. Ren's not great. Not a fan of the second Croxa. Ragavan, especially on the draw, is pretty terrible. Might do something like that. Jun Gamer indeed. We lost a rough one to Rakdos Midrange round 1 because we got to the mid part of the game and just like flooded out super hard. I know that's a story you've never heard before, but really love a 1-mana spot removal spell. Yeah. All right. This is better. Ditching Bobble. I probably should have ditched Explosives, actually. That was pretty bad. Give me an extra draw towards land to get the Overgrown Tomb to Liliana. Yeah, I should have ditched Explosives. So they saw Croxa. Ditch an Archmage's Charm. Alright. Do we have Blood Moon in our future? Not this turn. Alright. Am I casting something into what appears to be a counter spell? Yeah. Yep. Like, this has to be the easiest Blood Moon ever, right? Because they ditched Archmage's Charm to Croxa, which is like one of their best cards in the matchup. Because I'm assuming they can't make triple blue if they Blood Moon. I could throw down an EE for 3. Is that worth it? Should I just Spyro and try to get to like Croxa before they find a land? Let's play E. Black, green, red. I would have loved this to have been a fetch land that could get a swamp, but here we are. I'm thrilled that got a counter spell. There's a reasonable chance we get to resolve Spyro. Tormod's Crypt. Let's go ahead and heat this since we're not going to be able to heat it later. Did not have Tormod's Crypt on my radar. You got it. All right. So since I drew that, I'll bolt them. If I had drawn something that required mana, I probably wouldn't have bolted them because this lets me play Soul Guide Lantern if I draw into it. Then I want to know if I'm fetching out basic swamp or not before I go to their turn. And I think I can do better than another bauble. Okay. Bobble sees Bobble, name a more iconic duo. Literally can't. Alright, so I think I'm gonna go Soul Guide, make tokens. We'll get rid of whatever, because I'm popping this. Wait until their turn to pop it. Just in case they had like a consider or something on my end step, I want to grab that too. Two removal spells. Holy heats. Okay. That's fine. All right. Live cards are good. Oh, we had that blood moon called like nobody's business. I think I'm just gonna... No. I'll just take the Murktide, leave him with the blood moon. I don't really care about that. Especially once I land Goyf. Windmill Slam, Blood Moon. Oh. Pretty good top deck. Alright, so Blood Moon Unknown. Could have had another Goyf, Shadow, Spyro, bunch of live top decks. Bloodstained Mire, not one of them. Alright. So they find Unholy Heat, Counterspell, kill my token, counter my Terminate, Ragavan hits, and flips over Shadow. That's my guess here. On that Blood Moon. They have a Murktide. Oh boy. Well, we're coming down to a top deck. Dauthi. Survey says all right. A lot better than that first match. I'm getting the sense, though, that Dauthy's probably not where we want to be. Like, I like the card, and it's great if our opponents are on, like, Rhinos and Living In and stuff like that. But we're not seeing as many of those matchups anymore. I feel like I would rather just have some good, solid cards for, like, the Murktide matchups. I mean, like, if you're going to see Murktide every single league of your life, might as well have some good cards for the matchup, right? On the play, good hand. Against Affinity, eh? With Psy, Memnite. So am I attacking the mana or am I attacking the payoffs? Like, I could take Springleaf Drum, and if they play Memnite, I get to ping it with Wrenn. But there's also a decent chance they just, like, don't play Memnite. I could take the Memnite, but, like, any creature gives them a bunch of mana. I could take the Thought Monitor or the Psy as like the payoff. I'm going to take the Drum. That's a dicey one. Really hoping they just play out this Memnite. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think they would, but worth a try. So if that's the case, let's just get down Tarmogoyf. Right. And this is where I absolutely hate, because like we're gonna get in a bunch of trouble if they top deck another land and get to like Psy plus Mox Amber plus Memnite. That's a position I really don't want to be in. Sojourner's Companion, sure. So I get Darksteel Citadel. Psy, Memnite. I think they can Thought Monitor here too, right? So Memnite, Mox Amber, Thopter, Citadel. Citadel, Amber, Memnite, Thopter. One off. Never mind. Oh, man. Top decks are land, Memnite. worry, we've got TBR. I think you're vastly overestimating the capabilities of that card. Yep. I mean, if they just, like, absolutely bricked. Good lord, that was probably the most disgusting run out I've seen. That was gross. What do we need to have a chance there? Removal spell for Psy. I think that's about the only thing we could have had. Double Croaks on Holy Heat E. Alright, it's better. Bobble Midnight Cyst. What's making these Affinity decks super popular all of a sudden? They have like a good good matchup against 4-color. Alright. How about a Thoughtseize here? Let me get down this shadow. Nice deck. Well, gotta take the Thought Cast. Oh boy. So we need a Teamer Battle Rage pretty quickly. Island Nettle Cyst unknown. This is really making me want to go back to, like, Dismember and a second Battle Rage. Then I need to be thinking about, like, what are my outs here? Can I win the game if I don't top deck, like, a Battle Rage? Wraith, Dismember, TBR. Be a good start. Emery. Alright, so they get free plating equip. So let's say I start with Unholy Heat, the untapped Memnite. So I can do something like Unholy Heat, the untapped Memnite, terminate one of the constructs, because now they have to use the mana for plating. If they pass priority, I can just pass to blocks and not block anything. They lose the ability to re-equip the or reattach the plating. So yeah, I go to blocks, block on one of these. Fetch Shock of Blood Crypt. Heat the Emery. So they can't have any mana like second main. Terminate this construct. I take one, Shadow kills this construct, and I leave myself the ability to top deck a Team or Battle Rage for lethal. Survey says oh man, I love this deck. Oh, man. Sometimes you get paid off for giving yourself an out. Game is free. The amount we did not deserve that is so high. He's a 10, but he top decks the TBR exactly when he needs it. Doesn't that make him like an automatic 14? Sorry, automatic 13. Automatic 11/11 with double strike and trample. We'll take that. Thought monitor. Fetch land. Okay. Okay. All right. Are we going shadow, shadow? Yeah. Came here to cast shadows and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Okay. That does, by all technicalities, give them blue mana. Hmm. Am I playing out the EE for the constructs? Or am I playing Tarmogoyf? Gotta be EE, right? What do they get? Sure. terms and conditions have been accepted. Okay, I can Ancient Grudge the Nettle Cyst and get in for a couple. It's probably my best play. It's like I really need to find a way to double spell. I need to find another land so that I can like attack in with Shadows, Flashback Grudge, or play Tarmogoyf for Flashback Grudge, something like that. Oh boy. Big old Thopter. So do I have to just terminate Emery Pass? So bad. Like trying to slowly outdraw the deck that has 50 times better draws than us. Jeez. I need to get Goyf on the board, right? So they could treasure vault. How many treasures do they make off that? 1, 2, lose 1, so 7, gain 2 becomes 9. Law, what's up? So, going okay over here. We're currently 1-1 in this league. We stole game 2 against Affinity. Really hoping to steal game 3 as well. Really need to find like a fetch land. That's... No, I'm better off just like attacking, playing Goyf, right? Haven't touched MTG since the last like 6 months. What's the modern meta like? A bunch of just like 4-color good stuff decks and blue-red Murktide lists with Ragavans and counter spells, and that's like the important part of the modern meta. We are destined to never find this land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's say I attack out and they make a construct. And I EE to clear out the Ornithopter in the construct. They take 8, go to 8. Is that where I want to be? Odawara, bounce the E. Do I want to just take out the Ornithopter? No. Alright. 8-8. They make a 9-9. Get an artifact. They're both 10-10s. When is Hammertime that expensive? How expensive is it? Urza Saga, Stoneforge. They get a Pithing Needle. I'm in bad shape. Yeah, it looks like it's just like list dependent. Seeing lists from 700 to 1,000. But most of the expensive ones are expensive because Esper Sentinel, Stoneforge, Urza Saga, bunch of fetch lands just adds up when half your cards are like 15 bucks or so. What are the odds that our opponent messes up math? Emery, Lurker of the Lock. Can I get a fetch land one time? Please, Moto. So now I can check to see if they've got a the counter spell, Metallic Rebuke. Let's get a Stomping Ground. All the little stuff. Swing in for a chunk and a half. All right. Are we alive enough to be able to just Croxa for lethal? Target Thought Monitor. Okay. Soul Guide is fine. on. Keep playing stuff out. You need 2 more blockers. Throw them out there. Yep. 1 more. Start with Croxa. See if we just get like the free kill with this. So I can just Unholy Heat the Thought Monitor. Odawara fizzles. Croxa trigger kills. Yes. Stolen. Did not deserve that one. Ooh. GG indeed. Took some lucky top decks. Your Nightcrow, nice. I did not deserve that game 2 win at all. I was sitting here tanking for like 5 minutes. Like, is there any way I can win without top decking a TBR? I don't think so. I'm just gonna play to that. Kind of ripped it. Did you have Pithing Needle in the deck? Or was it just like Spear? TBR was a very silly top deck. That's why TBR is a messed up Magic card. And sideboard is my first game with the deck. Gotcha. It's a pretty rough deck to play against, that's for sure. Like that game 1, I wanted to take Psy really badly, but I was like, okay, I can find another hand disruption spell, a removal spell for Psy. Maybe he doesn't hit the land drops. And it just turned out being like, oh my god, twice. It ended up being like land drop into Memnite and something else. I was like, dang, we did not get there. Alright, so I want to fetch turn 1 in case I find a... in case I find a Thoughtseize, I can play Shadow turn 2. Forgot I can play Explosives. Oh yeah, I have to play Explosives with all this stuff running around. Why do they always get Cauldra? Like, it looks pretty good right here, but I don't think Cauldra should be your pickup in this spot. Like, if I answer the Stoneforge, then you're just stuck with, like, a Cauldron in the hand that does nothing. So, just, like, getting another hammer would be better. Or a Nettle Cyst, if you got one of those. Cauldron. Yep. You don't say, deck. Get in some chip damage. Yeah, we can. Here's a shadow. Here's a shadow once more for a second time. Now, Cauldron me. Cauldron me, you coward. You started this. You got it. Now swing in that big tramply boy. I won't even block. Scout's honor. Dang. Usually it works. You used to Cauldron on my cell phone. My Spyro ditching Dauthi push here. Guess I kind of like that. And we'll save. No, go ahead and shock. Because I might need like every bit of the life loss if I find a fetch land next turn. Obviously, they could top deck like a Sigarda's 8 or something and kill me here, but I gotta play to my outs. And my outs are being at the lowest life total possible. Pure Steel Paladin. So that kills me because they can just re-equip Cauldron to Ornithopter. So we have to go for it now. Which if one of their blind draws was a Spell Pierce, I'd die. So this is 14, 15 exactly. If they don't have Spell Pierce. Or I guess that does not work, opponent. So they blacksmith skilled my my Death Shadow to try to give it hexproof to make my Battle Rage fizzle. Hexproof means it can't be targeted by spells or abilities that my opponents control, but I can target my stuff with hexproof. If it gave it Shroud, then the Battle Rage would have fizzled. Or if it had been like Vines of Vastwood, it would have fizzled. But that was neither Shroud nor Vines of Vastwood. Ironically, they could have blacksmith skilled their Ornithopter and lived. So maybe they misclicked. Or maybe they were playing around like me having Bolt after it, which would have still killed. But yeah, they should have buffed their own dude. Again, my only guess is that they misclicked. But I can't know that for sure, so we're just going to go to game 2. Misclick is like the benefit of the doubt. Opponent saw someone do that with Infect and then forgot exactly how it worked. I'm pretty sure you just target the Death Shadow with your spell and Ooh, this hand's pretty bad, right? I definitely don't want 2 Alpine Moons. This is better. No turn 1 play. Blood Crypt off the top. What does no turn 1 play mean? Like Sanctifier? No, it's not Sanctifier mana. Cauldron. Cauldron. Not Cauldron. Hiya. Well, that does let me play a Shadow next turn. So many stone forges. Cauldron. You know you're going to get the Cauldron. I don't even know why you're looking through your deck. Can't be anything but Cauldron. Every time. You go away. I'm just playing out both of my dudes here. Yeah. That Saga going through without making a construct is super nice for me. Especially if they still haven't found a land. I would love a little bit of that luck. I was gonna say, getting Relic there like has to mean no land. Pass it on through. It's fine. Ooh. I can Dauthi their Urza Saga. Never mind. Scratch that. Would have been fun for a second. Have you tried Baby Shadow in any variants? You mean Shadow of Mortality? No, I have not. Unless you mean Scourge of the Skyclaves, in which case, yes, we have played that a lot. Alright. Good draw. Am I playing an EE out? I could, like, play out the EE as a safety net. Just, like, throw it out on one. Still have Ancient Grudge up. If that was the case, I should have played out the EE pre-combat. Would I rather just play it out on, like, 2? I'm kind of thinking, like, what if they go land... No, I guess they can't really do a ton from this position. Because even if they go land, fire up Ink Moth, swing, hammer, I can grudge to kill the Ink Moth. I guess we'll just save and draw off the Peatland, maybe. But I should have used Peatland before I dealt damage there, so that next turn either of my shadows would be lethal. Because right now they both have to hit to be a lethal swing through. Well, if they just do this, they die. I would love to pay the one. Yep, you got a hammer. No, I would not. Yep. Let's see. Mortality, him, and Dismember seem good together. Mortality what and Dismember? Mortality Murktide and Dismember? That seems like a big mana stretch. But no, like, I think the biggest thing holding back Shadow of Mortality is just the fact that you have to get so low on life for him to be reasonably costed. Like, you could play a 4-mana 20/20 in Modern, and it's probably like a 4-mana vanilla 20/20, and it's probably not good enough. I say probably not good enough. It's like definitely not good enough. And that's what Shadow of Mortality suffers from. Like, if you don't get all the way down to 2 mana, then he's just like a 3 or 4 mana 13/13, which isn't good. So if you need to get down to 7, you have to be playing the entire slew of like fetches, shocks, bolt yourself, gut shot, mutagenic, street wraith, whatever. And once you get down to that point, like, you just open yourself up to dying a lot of ways from there. Isn't it just a 7/7 Shadow of Mortality? Oh my god, it is a 7/7. Never mind, card's even worse. I thought it was at least like a 13/13. Nope. Not playing that one. Do all that work. Like, no major advantage. Hand's great. to RC. Think I have to just go ahead and kill this, which if they got like a turn 2 like ledger shredder is pretty rough for me, but bird is the word, bird is the word. See, this is like what Shadow needs to be able to do more often, is like put so much pressure on you to answer the first thing that the second thing gets to come down and just create like a what do you call it, like a cycle there. But what ends up happening most of the time is like you miss out on one of the pieces here. Like, it's shocking that Murktide is more consistent at this than Shadow is when you're running like the same land counts and creature base and most of the same spells. Spike played some Shadow today with some good results, at least a 4-1. I saw the last match of the 4-1 league. Like, this is the part that I don't like about Ledger Shredder, is you're just discarding like all this really good stuff to try to make Shredder relevant. Like, their ditches with Shredder so far have been counterspell, consider. So, attacking with Ragavan because it's basically never going to get through. But them blocking it turns on Delirium, which means I get to heat one of these at least. I wanted to play Dauthi out first to exile it, so maybe I cast a Ledger Shredder. It's easy when every card draws you another, pretty much. But, like, I need to find non-land stuff here to have a chance. But maybe, like, they iteration here. I get to iteration, find an answer to this Shredder. Or they're just going to kill my Dauthi. Nope. Dash or Ravioli. That'd have been a really good one off the top. Alright, so I got sack Dauthi, play their Shredder. Or sack Dauthi, play their Iteration. It's probably better, right? Alright, so I get Heat. Something, something. Heat the bird. Oh, wait, I give them the trigger. They would have gotten it. I guess, no, what I should have done is Inquisition first, put the trigger on the stack, and then Heat. And kill that. So that was pretty bad. Should have thought about that more. Definitely should have thought about that more. To rag or not to rag? That is the question. Okay. Turn 1 Thoughtseize, turn 2 Double Shadow. Don't understand how people can have fun playing Murktide. Deck always plays out the same. So, Magic is a game where a lot of the times fun directly correlates with winning. And for a lot of people, like, who cares if you have fun or not if you're winning? Or winning is fun, so whatever lets me do that, I will consider fun. So it's hard to say, like, yeah, this is fun for them, or this isn't fun for me, so it shouldn't be fun for you. But that's just, like, not usually the case. I'm drawing Consider there is pretty annoying. I was really hoping to just, like, time walk them sitting on Spell Pierce Flusterstorm and not be able to play something. So let's discard, get back Shadow. That is the right one. Turn Shadow, you discard, yeah. Ew. Ditching Spell Pierce is pretty nice for me. Guess just playing out the same lines over and over again seems boring to you. Sure, it does seem boring to you, but it might not be boring to the person that's playing it. So we can't really say, oh yes, it's boring just because it's boring to us. Opponent threw away their Spell Pierce. So I think I'm going to go for this right now. Because I know they still have a Ledger Shredder in hand. So I know Ledger Shredder, Flusterstorm, unknown.
You know, you want those.
Dash the Ragioli. So, ironically, this kills them. Unless they hit, like, a Shadow. Because now I've got EE to crack to blow up this Ledger Shredder. Fetch land to attack back for lethal. And they can't Unholy Heat my Shadow.
But it's not a thing about making it accurate.
Alright, anything I want to change up in game 3?
It's not about getting all the errors out.
Not really.
It's about getting it to do it.
What do we got? But yeah, we kind of made this version of Shadow because we wanted extra points against things like Murktide. So we've already won one match against them today. Wouldn't mind winning another one. Just so we can be like, yeah, deck's great. Yep. Alright, can we get a little luck here? They've got the Regent, they've got Archmage's Charm.
If it's an accident that's an error that feels good, then you leave it in. You know, you want those.
So not a particularly good spot for the home team. Assume they just Archmage's Charm this. Yep. So now they've got Murktide this next turn. Games like this are why I'm in the camp of I think Ragavan needs to be banned. Like, you just create such an insurmountable advantage in the first two or three turns of the game. And it just creates, or it presents that question of like, do you have an answer on turn 1? If no, you lose. If yes, maybe you get to play a little bit longer. Well, they get days, but like days on the draw does nothing against Ragavan. So, like, now I have to draw an answer to Murktide, or we die. That does not answer the Murktide, unfortunately. Yep. Dang. So close. Saying the days protecting Ragavan as an OP play. Sure. I'll give that one. Alright, what do we think? There were a bunch of, like, really good hands from this deck. But obviously, Ragavan itself is an unanswered Ragavan on the play is a huge hiccup. I don't think I like Dauthi. We put it in there because we were expecting a bunch of Cascade stuff, but if we don't see a bunch of Cascade stuff, it's pretty underwhelming. So I think that would be my first change here, is like cutting Dauthi. Could try to find room for more removal in the main. Also kind of want to try what would happen if I just went like all back in on Street Wraith and Dismember, Battle Rage, all that stuff. Might do that.